Hey, what's up? Welcome back. I say welcome back like I've had 1,000 videos out there, but yeah, I just wanted to stop in, check in with you guys, anybody that might run across this video, and kind of make it a point to say this is why I'm creating the videos, kind of introduce myself a little bit more. Goodness gracious, this is weird talking to a camera. Maybe one day I'll get used to it, but yeah, so I've been talking to my wife probably the last like 3 years, wanting to kind of start a YouTube channel for multiple reasons. One, for my own business. I am a strength coach out of school, but then also do strength and conditioning, sports performance training outside of my everyday life, even though I guess that just is my life in all aspects from a professional standpoint. But also pursued football throughout the majority of my life, and just was always trying to find that area in which I could compete and just enjoy, goodness gracious, I guess you would just say, striving for the idea of being better and bettering myself in multiple areas. But most importantly for me in those times was, I say most importantly, okay, so if we're keeping this all unedited, it's not really a most important, but it was definitely an area that I found of high importance, just pursuing athletics, trying to be better, trying to compete, trying to beat other people. There was something inside of me that kind of was fueled in that aspect. And as I made reference to earlier in a video that I did not even post, maybe I'll post it, whatever. But just trying to get over this uncomfortable idea of recording myself while sharing a little bit of my own journey and trying to figure out this life situation and how it revolves around archery. I wanted to kind of hit on the idea of why, the big why. And for me, I love, as I've already said multiple times, competing. And when I found archery, it was something I'd always wanted to do. I've literally grew up making little stick bows and finding, if you know about like soccer posts, people used to tear them up and like bring them into my neighborhood, and I would find the little like carbon fiber rods. And then I would get little like arts and crafts fletchings, like not fletchings, but arts and crafts feathers. And I remember watching Robin Hood and seeing the scene when they're in the woods cutting down trees, making arrows and bows and swords. And I was just the kid that was the homeschool kid that always had too much time on his hands. So made a bunch of those arrows, made a bunch of bows, had kids in the neighborhood, which we lived in an apartment complex, so plenty of kids. Literally they would come up and be like, can you teach me this? I want to learn this. And man, this is what I made. What do you think about that? And it was just always something that I've always found a lot of enjoyment in, and shooting bows. And I mean, when I say I was making bows, I literally it was strong enough to shoot into a tree with the arrows that I was making with some sticks and string. So yeah, that's kind of like a little bit of like the backstory of like how archery kind of ties into it. And then my neighbor kind of exposed me to the hunting side of the world. And again, where I went to high school, a bunch of hunters. I remember being at like car washes where they would come home with hogs and say like, hey, well, this is what I just got, and open up a cooler full of meat. And I had no idea what was going on at the time, other than that they were feeding their family with something that they went out and spent some time to do. And as I got a little bit older, did a little bit more digging, and when I had more time outside of sport, when I wasn't pursuing that, kind of fell in love with this thing called archery. And now you can say I'm almost gold chain lifestyle at this point, even though that's not where it started. I looked up and started with a Mathews. A good friend of mine actually sold me a Mathews DXT. It was fully decked out, had everything that I could need or want on the bow. It was at like a 20-inch draw. Had no idea what I was doing. So obviously I was crunched up like this, and as a 6'2", 250-pound guy playing defensive end linebacker, that was a pretty small bow. But all in all, still found a lot of joy in it. And then the limb ended up going bad on me, and not being the original owner, I couldn't get it swapped out for free. And so then I started realizing, okay, for me to get them swapped and fixed, it was going to be about $300. So then we started exploring other options, and that's when my wife came in clutch and started working extra time. She's also a teacher. Both of us are in the teaching profession. I teach PE as well as strength coach. But then she blessed me with this thing right here, and ever since then I haven't looked back, and it's been a deep dive since. And so but not really here to talk about the equipment. and really just kind of let the tangent occur. But again, it's really just about wanting to learn more about myself and the peace that comes with shooting my bow, as well as the competition aspect, because as an adult, I don't get a lot of outlets other than video games. And honestly, there's a beauty in video games and I love them to death. Like, you can ask anybody that. I know, like, I really am all about some video games, but there's something tangible about using my hands that's way more rewarding than sitting in front of a screen. And so I'll still play my COD, I'll still play my Apex Legends, but when I get the chance to be out in God's beautiful creation and actually be able to tangibly work on a skill that, one, feeds the family now. I think I saw it in the other videos, but I've been lucky the last 3 years to claim some type of a buck. And I guess this is going on my 4th year this past year that just passed. But yeah, so just kind of enjoying the journey. This video actually feels a lot more comfortable actually recording, which is pretty cool. Still getting the hang of recording out on the range. Hopefully I can get some more arrow flight videos. I really love watching those. And so obviously I want to create some just because I want to see it. And I love watching my shot process and learning from what I'm doing good and what I'm doing bad. But I also just want to share what I'm learning, because I think there's a ton of great content out there. And I've learned kind of how to be a student as I'm teaching students how to learn, whether it be me pursuing my own CSCS certification as a strength coach or other things. It's just a lifelong journey of a lifelong learner. So if I can digest the information and hopefully regurgitate it in a way that makes more sense to maybe a few more people out there, that's my goal. That's one of the goals anyway, is also just kind of sharing what I learned about myself, and as well as what God just kind of chooses to reveal to me about life. And so that's what I hope this channel ends up being. I hope you enjoy the journey with me. Today I'm actually about to fletch some arrows, which is why I originally came down here, because I've been beating up these arrows and I've been experimenting with some other stuff. But again, we'll do some actual gear videos later on, I'm sure, down the road. But for those that know, you know, Team Rock Lee, as I said, into the anime world, into the, oh, I forgot about my guy Vegeta. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna shout out everybody on here, but I mean, as I said, for those that know. For those that don't know, it's okay. No judgment here. Just don't bring judgment to me when I tell you I enjoy the stuff. But even if it is, it's all good. It's all love. Well, most of the time it's all love. I mean, at the end of the day, people are gonna feel what they feel, and I'm okay with that. I'm not here to fix the world. I'm just here to shine a light where I can. So yeah, that's the process. That is the journey that I'm on. And I look forward to sharing more as the time goes on. So hopefully enjoy the completely unedited video, because I don't plan on editing this too much. And I know the lighting is going to be poor because it's just some overhead basement lighting. But yeah, hopefully I get to get this whole setup into something that is a little bit more professional, maybe. I'm not even sure what I'm getting at this point, but I'm gonna start rambling. But again, my name is William Alderman, self-titled YouTube channel. I would love to get creative with it, but I think right now that just is most fitting, so we'll leave it at that.